welcome or welcome back to my channel. Anaya here with another general collective message. Please be sure to take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. So use your discernment. I hope that wherever you are today, that you are comfy, cozy, and staying well hydrated. So let's dive on in and see what the message is for you today. Here the astrology dice are the Sun, Pisces, so we have Neptune on the scene, and we have the third house, which is governed by Gemini, and therefore Mercury. So there is something being illuminated about your path, your future, your self-expression, your inner light, your glow. With this Pisces energy, this could very well be something spiritual. Perhaps there is a spiritual career or pastime, or perhaps you are just someone with a very highly empathic, very sensitive, highly perceptive. All right, maybe you have very strong spiritual connection. But with this third house energy here, there is definitely some communication going on. Maybe you are teaching about this spiritual Neptunian energy. Maybe you're sharing your dreams with others. Maybe you are revising your belief system. Perhaps you are even embarking on some sort of spiritual journey or quest, some sort of vision quest here. Either way, Neptune is bringing us into the deep. All right. So some kind of communication, movement in this deep energy that is being highlighted for you. So let's go ahead and get a couple oracle cards here for our theme for today's message. We have divinity here and the number 20. I see this card as this deck's version of the star card. And then at the bottom of my deck, we have meditate in reverse. All right, so these are our two dominant energies. Divinity and meditate in reverse. So you have a strong connection to the divine, to spirit, to spirituality, to the stars. Maybe you're an astrologer, an astronomer, or someone who is deeply spiritual. Meditate in reverse. So someone is not reflecting, not meditating. Okay, let's get some more information here. What is this meditate reverse? Is there a message you're not receiving from the divine? What is this? Okay, we have karmic path in front of us. And that card just peekabooed a moment ago, and it's back out again. So this karmic path energy wants to be here. And we have growth at the bottom of my deck here. Number 15 with this little swirly, whirly purple energy. This makes me think very much of Jupiter. Okay. So looking at our color story here, we got this purple, growth, meditate, reverse, and we have this sort of soft peach with a gray for divinity and karmic path. So the karmic path energy here, I see it as resonating with the sun, as the sun often illuminates our path forward, our purpose, our future. All right, what are you here to do? What's your meaning, your purpose? What gives value to your life? What brings deep fulfillment, which will also be that Pisces energy? What fills your cups? What emotionally, psychically nourishes you? Okay. What feeds and fuels and uplifts you. So here I'm seeing that you are in your star energy. Okay. and you're on your path. You're on your way. There's some aspect of growth here that is happening. So you're gaining wisdom, you're gaining knowledge. And with this purple, this is hearkening back to the crown chakra. And that very much highlights the collective consciousness that we are all connected to. All right, the stars that we are connected to from our crowns and the top of our head that sort of plug us up into the heavens and the stars. As our feet ground us down to the earth, our crown chakra and our head energy connect us and ground us, as it were, upward with the star energy here. As we are all hybrid beings, a combination of the earth and the stars and their placement when we are born, and of course the way that the earth and the movement of stars also determine, govern, and create context for our spiritual and our embodied experiences. So there is definitely growth here. There is knowledge. There's spiritual knowledge and growth. I'm curious why meditation is in the reverse. So let's go ahead and take a look. Ooh, bottom of my deck, we have shadow in the reverse. Okay, that may further explain why meditate is in reverse. There's some aspect of your shadow, perhaps, that you are not aware of, that right now is being brought to the light. Maybe something that is suppressed or hidden in your shadow might be holding you back in some way, tripping you up, creating some challenges, whatever the case may be. All right. Whatever this is, though, you're not necessarily consciously aware of it with Meditate Reverse. So let's get more information. Why is Meditate Reverse here with growth? We have here the Knight of Pentacles. Followed by the Lover's Reverse. So there's that Gemini energy again. All right, so there is something that you have been... So this has been happening for a while, okay? There's some aspect of your shadow that has been active, influencing your behavior, your thoughts, okay, your decisions, and you have not been necessarily aware of it. Again, the Lover's Reverse is reflecting that there is perhaps a disconnect going on within, an unplugging, miscommunication. All right, so there's some information that's wanting to get through to you. And I'm really seeing this happening in the psyche with this Pisces Neptune energy, okay? And the sun is here to illuminate whatever this thing is, this aspect of your shadow that's kind of been flying under your radar. But now seems to be the opportune time for this aspect of your shadow to come forward and be highlighted so that you can see it, recognize it, and bring some healing to it. So let's get more information here on Meditate Reverse and growth. I have here the Four of Swords. So there's that Jupiter energy with Libra. So Jupiter wants to bring some rest. It wants to bring some relief. And here we have Justice. There's that Libra energy again. Excellent. So here we can see there's a desire for balance. All right, we've got the Lovers and Justice, and both of these cards here are all about the tree of life. All right, we've got the two opposing pillars of extreme and opposition. And we see that again here in the Lovers card with these two trees and these two individuals. Okay, oppositions, extreme, duality. So this has to do with bringing something into balance. Something was out of balance, okay? So this aspect of your shadow, whatever it is that's happening under the surface, has created some instability in some way, shape, or form for you. And this could look like psychological instability. Maybe this is making you feel insecure, or it's playing out in some kind of negative way when it comes to your mental health. But here with this Jupiter energy present, the energies right now are ripe for balancing. So whatever this thing is, as I mentioned, it's ripe to come up to the surface for your recognition and for your healing, so that whatever this imbalance is that was previously existing can be corrected and be brought into this Jupiter in Libra energy, the Four of Swords here. This is an energy of recovery, rest, recuperation. So you are recovering, okay? The Four of Swords is also when a warrior is returning from the battlefield and he's putting his sword down. He, she, they are putting their sword down and they're entering into a meditative recovery state, okay? This is where they're getting medical attention to their wounds that they acquired on the battlefield. This is also time for them to have respite, retreat. The war, the battle is over. Now it is time for hospice. Now it is time for care, nourishment, both on a physical level, but when we're looking at swords, we're really talking about the intellect and the mind here. So this is helping you recover this mental health that may have been vulnerable or under attack in some way, shape, or form by virtue of this shadow aspect that's been working quietly under the surface. Let's get some more information. What is divinity and karmic path here? Oh, we've got judgment. Good old Pluto is out on the scene. Followed by the Emperor reversed. And this Emperor reverse showed himself to me just a moment ago. That's been happening quite a lot lately. Cards are sort of peekabooing. It's like they're popping out to foreshadow themselves. All right. So divinity, karmic path, judgment, Emperor reverse. All right. So there's something about whatever this shadow aspect is that's coming to light. Okay. The judgment card is here. It is being flushed out. It's really getting catapulted and brought forward to the surface. Okay. You can think of it almost as like a volcano erupting or something that may have been kind of dormant or insidious, like quietly working away, quietly impacting you, creating some issues for you in some way, shape, or form in your life. But now it's time to sound that trumpet, ring the alarm. Whatever was buried, as we see with these people in the graves here, these zombies, all right, that are rising from the grave. So whatever was hidden, whatever was buried, is now coming to light. And that's that judgment energy there. So whatever was literally buried in the ground, buried in your body, buried in your mind, repressed in your shadow self, whatever was tucked away or closeted is now being brought forward into the light. Why? Because you are this star energy. You are someone who is likely in the public eye, or you are just a natural born leader. And so whatever you do for a living, your hobbies, however you move through the world, you have this star energy. And this is something that is fated for you. It is part of your karmic path. And by karmic path, this is something that you have earned, you have acquired. When we're talking about karma, we're talking about your spiritual bank account. All right? If you've done positive deeds, helpful deeds, you have accrued this positive energy. if you are doing harmful things, dipping more into negativity, trying to hurt other people, then you accrue that energy. And what I'm seeing here is that because we have divinity with karmic path, this lets me know that for whoever I'm reading for here in this message, you have built up very positive karma or dharma for yourself. And so your life, this lifetime, you are meant to shine. Whatever happened in previous lifetimes or whatever happened earlier in this lifetime, you have accrued this positive energy. This is your time to shine. All right? Step forward, put your light out there. You're meant to be seen. And with this judgment energy, not only is your shadow and what you need to see about yourself being exposed for you yet again at this time, as shadow work is continuous and ongoing, we may take pauses from it and pick it back up again. And while this is that time, Source Creator, Spirit, your ancestors, your inner self is inviting you to go right back into that shadow, inviting you to come back in because there's something else, like a little splinter that's just kind of getting in your way. And you may not have been able to identify exactly what it is, but here it is for you to see, alas. The Emperor reverse. You are someone who has power. Again, that's your leadership energy here with Aries. It's a natural born identity. Your karma in this life, your path in this life is designed for you to be in this leadership, powerful position, to be seen by others. You could be a teacher, an influencer, whatever it is you're doing, others look to you. Now, something I really want to highlight here is that the Emperor is the Emperor because he's done the work. If you can take a note here, you see that he's dressed in this beautiful red garb here, his royal cloak. But beneath it, there is this blue armor that we can see. What this tells us about the Emperor is that he has achieved a come up. He was once a knight. He was once immature. He wasn't always this powerful emperor sitting in the seat of his empowerment. Before, he was young, naive, insecure, lacking experience. But when he was a knight, he took the actions, okay? Knights are all about activity. So he launched into action. He's fire. So as the Knight of Wands, he was quick, right? Fast, very inspired by passion, idealism. And that's what allowed this Emperor to launch headlong into battle. Now read in between the lines. Take this as it resonates. Whatever this battle metaphor is for you, you've come a long way, because now it's time for you to take your seat as the Emperor. You're no longer the knight. So whoever I'm reading for here today, you are someone of experience. You are someone of status, but you may not have actualized this. Maybe you're a little shy about it, or you reserve it in some way. And that's why the Emperor appeared in the reverse. Now, the dangers of the Emperor not being actualized, not receiving the support he needs, not carrying the self-esteem that he needs, because the Emperor has developed his self-esteem based on his experiences, right? Like I said, when he was a knight, he was insecure. He didn't have the answers. He didn't know all the things, but he was learning. He took action. He put himself out there. He got the information he needed. He studied, maybe learned from a mentor or went to school. He acquired the experience that he needed so that he could graduate into this Emperor position. Now, here with the Four of Swords, as I mentioned before, this is also a card of returning from battle. The Emperor has returned from battle to graduate, to evolve, glow up, receive a promotion from a knight to an emperor. And here, part of that return from the battlefield, whatever that is for you, involves you taking care of yourself. nurturing yourself. This is definitely self-care right here, okay? So what this lets me know is you've been through a lot, okay? That's why we're seeing so many the warrior energy here. The Four of Swords can even be viewed as the wounded warrior who is coming to recuperate and recover. So this battle motif that is popping up here between these two cards, as I say, lets me know that I'm talking to someone of experience. You are someone who is mature. You've been through a lot. You've seen a lot in life, and you've experienced much. Not all of it pretty, not all of it light. In fact, the majority of your experiences were likely very challenging, very difficult. And it was through this difficulty that forged you, formed you into this emperor. Okay? So you needed these experiences. You needed the battle scars. They gave you wisdom. They gave you knowledge. Now you can do better. This has been part of your process and your journey of maturation. So let's get let's get a couple more clarifiers on divinity and karmic path here. All right, I'm sure you can hear that that's an ambulance. How timely. With that Four of Swords energy, as I mentioned, the wounded warrior who is now being invited to recover, heal, okay? And there goes that EMS emergency vehicle. So this is urgent, okay? This is also making me think of the judgment, the alarms of that EMS vehicle, okay? This is an urgent message. This is something timely. And with the Knight of Pentacles, this disconnect, whatever this shadow, this imbalance that's been going on within you internally, okay, has been happening for quite a long time. So this has been a long time coming for you to uproot, heal, clear away, whatever this thing is, whatever this aspect of your shadow reversed is that's putting you in the Emperor reversed, maybe making you feel like a lack of confidence, okay, putting you in your ego, making you feel insecure, and as a result, it may cause you to be jealous, judgmental of other people because you are not seeing the value within yourself. And that may be causing some resentment that you could be projecting onto others when the Emperor is in the reverse, okay? He's not in his power. And when he feels impotent and powerless, he starts to thrash around in an attempt to gain that power, okay? So this is someone who's feeling disempowered. And the road back to yourself here is all about this introspection and figuring out what is active in the shadow within you that is pulling you into this reversal Emperor energy when you really are an Emperor upright. So let's get two more cards here to clarify divinity and karmic path. We have the Star. And we have the Page of Cups reversed. Okay, so here we go. We got double star energy here, double star power. This is, again, further validating that this is your energy. You are a born star. You have everything that you need. Here we have two jugs. So again, we're looking at the pillars of opposition here. Okay. You have a balance, you have a connectedness to the larger collective conscious as this larger body of water. And then this other jug of water here is showing your personal 5 sense experience of the world. So this is your personal way of gathering wisdom and experience through your 5 senses. And then this is how you gather wisdom and knowledge from the 5 senses of other people that have been banked in the collective unconscious. And this is something that you have access to as the star. Now, with the Page of Cups reversed, it's like you're not trusting your intuition. Because we see here with this Aquarius energy, all right? Aquarius, this is also Uranus and Saturn energy. And what this is showing me here is that you may be straddling between the serious aspects of yourself and the more exciting, adventurous, unlimited, unrestricted aspects of yourself. So again, there's this dichotomy that's going on. And it looks like it's causing you to feel insecure with the Page of Cups reversed. And you're not trusting your intuition. Okay, you're doubting what you're feeling and the wisdom that your emotions are highlighting for you. Let's get a little more information here. Why do we have the Star and Page of Cups reversed? You are deeply connected, but you doubt that connection. You are highly perceptive and sentient, but you doubt that perceptivity. You doubt the knowledge or the wisdom that's coming through to you through your 5 senses, through your 6th sense. Why is the Star here with Page of Cups reverse? All right, I just saw the 5 of Cups peekabooing itself there. Okay, so that's further letting me know that the Page of Cups reverse is showing a sense of regret. Maybe some depression. I did mention resentment. When you are not acknowledging your own wealth of being, your own wealth of knowledge and experience, when you're not validating yourself, then you disconnect yourself from your own power. And that puts you in this reversal energy here with the Emperor. And that's very much an energy of resentment, like I said. Now, instead of you being a torch, exuding light to model for others, you now become the fire that burns, hurts, harms, scalds, right? That's when water gets really hot. It's burning you. It's hurting you. Instead of it warming and soothing you like a warm cup of tea or a nice hot soup to bring calm to your mind and your body. Instead, it's burning you up. It's hurting you. Okay? So we got to figure out how to better manage this fire. And the best way to do so is by looking within with this Pluto judgment energy that's here. This is an inside job. Whatever is causing you to feel unfulfilled is directly tied to this imbalance energy here. So what is the shadow aspect that we need to acknowledge here? Let me reach for a different deck on this one here. Let's get another tarot card, another tarot deck. Let's figure out exactly what is this shadow. What is this shadow that needs to be flushed out, seen, and healed? What is this shadow about? All right, we've got 4 of Pentacles reversed. And we have a King of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So this shadow aspect of you that is like quietly working under the radar, okay? And it's doing some damage here because it's causing you to it's knocking you off your square. It's taking you out of your power, okay? You have a beautiful, brilliant light as the star, okay, to shine for all to see. You're a healer, and that's why you have this inbuilt light. But what's tripping you up and causing this light to turn into a harmful fire that's burning instead of healing, soothing, and inspiring, okay, which is sort of your natural birthright here with this karmic path, you're here to heal. You're here to restore, help others, be of service, okay? You have some insecurity around money, wealth, value. With the Four of Pentacles reversed, we have the Sun in Capricorn. So this is all about your money, your status. What kind of power do you hold in the material world? The King of Pentacles is the ruler of Pentacles. But here he's in the reversal. We see him unstable, lacking resources, not receiving the kind of supports that he needs in a concrete material way. And so this loss or lack of resourcing is reflected in the Four of Pentacles reverse. When the Four of Pentacles is upright, we have wealth and abundance all around us. Okay, we've got everything we need. We're learning healthy boundaries on how to keep what we need and how to use our resources to benefit us, okay? How to maximize on resources available to us to help us grow, help us evolve. But this opportunity looks like, what's coming to mind here is maybe you have doubts. And what this shadow aspect is that's going on underneath is that you doubt your value, or you doubt that you can even ever attain material wealth. That could be part of what's going on here. Okay? So for some of you, this is going to look a little different for everyone. But for some of you that are watching this, the shadow thing, that's the aspect of your shadow that's operating under the surface, that's been going on for so long. And here it's the Knight of Pentacles, right? That's further giving us a context on how long this action has been taking place, and it's been for quite some time. And of course, how convenient or how resonant it is that these are all pentacle cards here to show that this shadow has been working for a long time, and this shadow has insecurity around material resources and personal wealth and value. You may be concerned that you're not able to achieve wealth in your life. Okay, maybe you have experienced poverty, material poverty, a lack of resources in some way, shape, or form. But this is concrete when we're dealing with pentacles, okay? So this is some kind of concrete resourcing. Maybe you never had the housing security that you needed to feel safe, to grow, to create, to express. Maybe you never had the right food security or access to food security. And so that lack of resourcing has played out in some way, shape, and form in terms of being distracting, because it's difficult to focus and achieve your goals when your brain and body are not receiving the regular nutrients and nourishment that it requires. Okay? So take this as it resonates. You're going to know what this is now that we're talking about it. Okay? Because even though this shadow aspect has been under the radar and you may not have been consciously aware of it, I get the sense that now that we are aware that it's within the realms of the pentacles, that you're going to know exactly what it is. All right? Let's go ahead and pull a couple more cards here. Why do we have Four of Pentacles reverse with a King of Pentacles reverse? Tell us more about this shadow aspect that we need to know about. All right, here we have the Three of Wands. In addition to the Seven of Pentacles. And I see here at the bottom of my deck, we've got the Nine of Swords reverse. And we also have the Emperor making an appearance again, and this time in the upright. So you are trying to get out, in order for you to turn this Emperor energy right side up, to get back into your power, it's going to require healing. The Nine of Swords is about anxiety, insomnia, restlessness, feeling deeply unsettled or unstable, psychologically, emotionally. So this is an energy you're going to be healing from. You're coming out of this nightmare Nine of Swords energy, and that's why we're seeing it reversed. As you come up out of this difficulty, this nightmare, okay, that the shadow has been running, like your own private horror show or horror movie happening here. This energy is ready to shift. And that's why there's that alarm. Now is the time. Now is the time. It's critical. This balance needs to be made now. Because if this is not corrected, this thing that's been long-standing for much of your life, maybe all of your life, for some of you, this has been a shadow working under the surface, okay? So this shadow has been running the show for too long. Now is the time to flush it out and acknowledge it. With the Three of Wands here, we have the Sun in Aries. The future is open to you, okay? There are resources available. With the Seven of Pentacles, Saturn in Taurus, this is looking like investment. This is all about you making a commitment to your future. And in order for you to commit to your future, what that looks like is you investing in yourself. Okay? So let's get clarity on how best you can invest in yourself at this time. With the Seven of Pentacles, we reap what we sow here. So you're only going to get out of life, work, achievements, what you put into it. If you're going to put a little bit of energy, then you'll only get a little bit of results. If you put a lot of energy in consistently, regularly, then you're going to see those results growing consistently, regularly. Okay? This is all about you investing in your future. We're bringing the balance back. This is time for growth. With Jupiter energy, we're on our path. We're fulfilling our purpose. We're growing. We're learning. Okay? And this is a time of expansion. This expansion energy is here for you. So let's create that balance. How can my viewer create the balance and empower themselves? What is it that my viewers need to do to heal this aspect of their shadow and to step into their personal power with more confidence, self-awareness, self-fulfillment? We have Two of Swords, followed by the Tree of Life. Now, this card is not actually meant to be a part of the tarot pack. It's more just like an information card that was included in this deck. But I like to include it in the deck as a Tree of Life card. So it's almost duplicating a Ten of Pentacles energy. But this, for me, is highlighting certain aspects of your tree a little more directly and in sort of a nuanced way that differs from the Ten of Pentacles. So with the Two of Swords here, you've got a decision to make. You have a decision to make about what your path and purpose is. That's why your tree is right here. Who are you? What are you doing? Okay? And this to me almost reads like your Akashic records. The universe is showing you who you are. All right? If you've had any doubt, any confusion, the universe wants you to know, hey, you have a whole tree. You may have lived many lifetimes. Either way, your soul is mature. Okay, you've incarnated because, you want to return to the earth school and learn some more things and bring your soul into more expansion and wholeness and awareness. But even though there's still more for you to learn, I want you to recognize here with this Tree of Life card, you're a very mature soul. Who I'm speaking for, who I'm speaking to or reading for here in this message, this is not your first rodeo on a soul level. All right, you've been here before, you've done this before, you've learned a thing or two, okay? And now you have a decision to make. What's this Two of Swords, Tree of Life energy? What is going to help the collective, my viewers, my listeners, what is going to help them to heal this aspect of their shadow around their value and their ability to acquire wealth and financial stability? Because it's kind of giving me a low-key, like Five of Pentacles energy. It's almost like there's a scarcity mentality that's working under the surface that might be sabotaging you in some way. All right, why is the Two of Swords here with the Tree of Life? Show us, please, and thank you. All right, here we have Empress reverse, followed by the Three of Pentacles. Interesting. So you have a decision to make about your path. And this decision has to do with, again, I'm seeing this going right back to the Seven of Pentacles that we have here. It's all about what you invest. What you put in is what you get out. Okay? And it is worthwhile for you to invest in yourself. That project, that skill, that talent that you're so good at. Okay? That creative thing you've always been interested in, whatever the case may be. Now, with the Empress reverse, this here is letting me know that you are a very creative person, very fertile, very skilled. Okay? The Empress is all of the queens in the tarot merged into one. She is the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. All right? She is every queen in one. And that's what makes her the Empress. The Empress is also the counterpart to the Emperor, okay, which has shown up at least twice, I believe, so far in this reading. So the Emperor and Empress are counterparts. This has to do with you recognizing the various facets within yourself. When we look at the Emperor energy here, we're looking at Aries, which is governed by Mars. So we're looking at Mars, Martian energy. The counterpart to Mars is the beautiful, fantastic Venus. Look at her there with her Ankh symbol. Okay, the balance of male and female. All opposition and duality. Balanced perfectly within one vessel. So this is you coming into greater balance. Part of what's causing your feeling of disempowerment, what's causing you to feel knocked off of your square when it comes to your Emperor qualities, which is how you shine in the world, how others see you, how you assert yourself, okay, as an educator, a leader, has to do with this Empress energy that's in the reverse. Now, when the Empress is balanced, she is nourishing. Take note of where she holds her orb of light. The Emperor holds his orb high up. We can see here in this image. He holds his orb closer to his solar plexus, closer to his mid-body. So this is all about his identity, who he is, how he asserts himself. Okay? The Empress holds her orb of light down at her root and sacral chakra. Her energy is more internal. She may not be as external as the Emperor because she doesn't have to be. She has Venus energy. She doesn't have to act and perform to be seen. She simply is, and she draws in and attracts what it is that she wants. That's how she creates. Her energy is one of nurturing, comfort, safety. And from this place, she can create. And this is beautiful. True beauty from the inside out. So it's important here for you to really tap in, because when, again, this Empress energy, her orb of light is down by the root in the sacral chakra, which are the areas that govern this pentacle energy, right? The Saturn, Earth energy, this creativity. So this has to do with material wealth and creation of material wealth and stability. The Empress is instantly tapped into that, right? She is this mothering energy. She creates life. Everything moves through her. Everything we see that exists in the physical realm must come through the body of the Empress, through her vessel, through her gateway. And so this is you tapping into your inner fertility. The lack mentality that you may have been carrying in your shadow self, okay? This fear of maybe you'll always be poor. Maybe you'll never have housing security or food security. Maybe you'll never have the social accolades, the authority, the recognition for your work. Whatever this is. What's important for you to realize here with this Empress energy is that you are the engine. You are the mitochondria. You are the powerhouse, the power center of your experience. Now, we're talking about that which you can control. There are things that you can't control. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about the direct interpersonal, intrapersonal, inner reflective work that you can control, that you do have access, that you are personally responsible and accountable for. This is what we're talking about. First, what's important for you to realize is that you're the Emperor and that you're the star energy. You're a healer. You're powerful. You're connected. And because you have this connection, there is no way that this scarcity energy it has no place in this fertility energy that you have. None whatsoever. And so this really highlights for me that this scarcity, this doubt that you'll ever have what you need in the material realm to sustain you, that intergenerational wealth, whatever it may be, okay, is already set up to be yours in this lifetime, right? You've earned these stripes. You've earned this wealth, comfort, stability. You've earned it. Your soul has done the work over time. This lifetime, you are meant to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And there we go with the sirens again. This is a very urgent message for someone. You have been too long, your shadow has kept you too long in this scarcity and lack energy. When the fact is, you are the creative source in your life. There's no way that you don't need to be in this infertility or this lack or this scarcity energy when you are the one that has the power to generate it. It's like you have your own personal printing machine. You can print your own money and you're worried. You're like, I can't pay my bills. I can't. But you have your own printing machine to print your own money. Why don't you just print your own money? Here with the Three of Pentacles, that printing machine, okay, the way that the printing machine works, following my analogy here, is you got to use it. Mars and Capricorn, Mars is all about your energy. How are you using your energy? How are you using your power? Where are you putting it? How are you directing it? With Capricorn energy here, you're being guided into structure. Create structure for yourself. Three of Pentacles, take your energy, set down a plan, okay? Three of Pentacles is all about plans. It's all about blueprints, all about collaboration and contracts. So you are being invited to create a plan. something where you can concretely direct your energy each and every day towards achieving your goal of acquiring greater self-confidence and building up the material wealth that you long for, that you desire, and that you deserve to have. So this shadow has kept you in this lack. And that lack, it's almost like, what's the point? I'm never going to have that housing security. I'm never going to have the role, the status, the title, I'm never going to have those things. So what's the freaking point? Emperor reverse. So now you're bitter. Now you're in your ego. There's that sadness and depression energy of the Five of Cups that we saw earlier. Okay? That's what's going on here. But what you're being asked to do is to come into this Two of Swords. You got to make a decision. All right? The choice, the power is in your hands. You have to choose to bring peace. You have to choose to recognize yourself. You have to choose to love yourself with the Lover's reverse. You have to choose to understand that you deserve balance, love, connection. Okay? Because not only are we seeing pentacle energy in terms of your concern about material wealth and acquisition in your life, but with this Justice Libra energy reversed and this Lover's Mercury energy reversed here, there's also a simultaneous concern around connection and relationships with others. So you may notice that you are experiencing this lack energy going back to the Emperor, or the Empress, pardon me. Her orb of light sits at the root and the sacral. The root governs the material, the wealth, the money, the status. The sacral governs the creativity, the connection, the relations. So those are the two energy centers that this shadow aspect of yourself has been tripping up or creating challenges around that you've been experiencing for so long. Okay? And the answer, just going back here, is Three of Pentacles. Make a concrete plan for yourself. Okay? Each and every day. So we know that the Emperor gains his confidence because of his industry. He got to be the Emperor because he was once a knight who was putting in the work, right? Knights are all about action. So this is about you putting in that dedicated action so that you can set your future up. Okay, back to the Seven of Pentacles, Three of Wands. You are going to reap what you sow. So if you put the quality time now to make sure every day you do something that taps your talents and your skills, every day practice something, do the thing, do the whatever nourishes you that you are a boss at, make sure that you schedule time to do that thing every single day for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever makes sense to you. The Emperor is all about routine and schedule. He is successful in this Three of Pentacles energy. That planning, okay? Because the Emperor is also a general, all right? He's a war general. He's tactical. He's strategic. And that's what he needs you to tap into, all right? Because you have this Emperor archetype alive and well within you. You're a natural born leader. So you have this natural inborn ability to be strategic, to be tactical, okay, in order to achieve what you want, both in the material realm and when it comes to your relations and interpersonal relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple more cards here on just outcome. How about that? Let's look at some outcome. So we've got closing advice here. Get your plan together. Because the more you do the thing that brings you into your Emperor energy, that brings you fulfillment, light, and joy, the more you practice that thing each and every day, guess what? It's going to build up your self-confidence. That's the importance of industry. Okay, this is making me think of the psychosocial model of development. Everyone is developing. Our brains, our nervous systems are continuously developing from the moment we're born to the moment we die. This growing never stops until we leave this planet. And when you are unable to share your talents with the world, share your services with the world, okay, that's the industry part, where you're able to create, cultivate, participate, innovate. When you're able to participate in the world actively, little bit by little bit, that is that industry being developed. And when you develop this healthy sense of industry, it gives you a healthy sense of belonging, and ultimately it develops a healthy sense of identity. So it puts you on this upward trajectory to healthy psychosocial development and healthy positive outcomes in one's life, including positive health, housing security, food security, education, so on and so forth. Now these things start to come into being or are able to be met in a balanced way. Okay, you're able to acquire the things that you need in a balanced way because you're being tactical, you're being strategic, you're planning for your future. Okay? So that's the importance here. So if you're noticing that you're getting ornery, you're getting angry, you're feeling low self-esteem, you're starting to be a little jealous, you're getting in your ego, you're getting fiery and kind of nasty, or if you're getting into that shadow aspect of the emperor, my question for you, or my invitation for you, listener, is to ask yourself, what am I doing each and every day to invest in my personal development around my concept or sense of industry? What am I doing every day to psychologically cue to myself that what I'm doing is making a positive difference in the world? Because the more you witness yourself making these positive additions to the world, inputting your positive service and contributions, that's little by little what's going to build up your self-concept. When you're not doing what makes you happy, you have the opposite effect in the psychosocial development. Instead of you having a positive uptick forward into healthy self-concept and identity development, you then have a negative downward trajectory. So instead of having a healthy concept of self, you now have an unhealthy concept of self, leading to a sense of inferiority, depression, listlessness, hopelessness, despair. And we want to turn that energy around. But in order for you to have a healthy development, you have to make sure that you have the resourcing and support and the healthy environment and tools around you to support that particular aspect of your stage of development. Okay? So here, the focus is industry in order to directly, positively build up your self-concept and to build up your confidence and your self-esteem. So what this is going to mean is that as you make plans, all right, you're going to have to make the decisions between what is it that actually supports my goals? What supports my passion? What brings me joy? That which I do. Okay? You may want to find community with Three of Pentacles. That's also very important when it comes to developing healthy self-concept. Okay? So maybe you want to find some like-minded people who share similar interests, all right? Who are leaders in your industry alongside you, your peers, okay? Whatever the case may be, this is also going to help build up your self-esteem. So if you're an artist, but you work alone, this is a great opportunity to maybe find some collective or collectives in your area, some sort of artist collective or co-op or a community space, all right, where you can meet others like yourself. Again, it's very important when you are developing healthy self-concept and a healthy identity that you have positive role models and representation around you as well. Okay? So that's definitely the invitation here. All right, let's just get outcome, 2 cards for the outcome here. So as you take these concrete steps, you plan, you strategize, every day you do a little something to fill up your own bucket, to pour into yourself. the healthier self-concept. Then the Emperor energy turns around like we saw previously with that second Emperor card that popped out right side up. So you're not meant to be in this reverse Emperor energy any longer, okay? I can't emphasize that enough. We saw, what, two instances of sirens going by in this reading. Yeah. This is urgent. This is urgent. Pour into yourself now. Make this plan now. Okay? Don't wait another moment. Don't wait another moment. Don't neglect this aspect of yourself. Not a second more. This is time to pour into yourself. Love yourself. See yourself for who you are. You're valuable. You're important. We need you here on this planet. Okay? So let your light shine. Take care of yourself so that you can let that light shine and you can be a role model for those around you who are watching you, who are looking to you, whether you're aware of it or not. Looking to you for inspiration, for leadership, for community. All right, 2 cards for the outcome, please, and thank you. We've got friendship reverse. And we have homeless. Very, very interesting combination of cards here. And then look at this. Look at this. Under my deck, we have care reverse. Okay, the keywords here are support, patron, parenthood. And we have okay in the reverse. Keywords here are stability, harmony, and acceptance. So this all falls in line with this message here, okay, around some key ingredients to help turn your Emperor energy right side up and for you to address whatever this aspect of your shadow is that needs to be healed right now, okay, with a sense of urgency, loving urgency. Because you deserve better. You deserve to have your cup full. No more scarcity, okay? Especially not when you have your own printing machine, as it were. So friendship reverse here, the keywords are team, connection, network. So this is recognizing here that you've been disconnected. You may not have been in the right spaces or places, okay? Again, looking at people who are in a similar industry or share similar interests, passions, all right? It's important for you to establish a network. You have not done so in the past. You've been disconnected, okay? Been isolated, maybe working alone, okay? Cautious of others. So the contrast here is that you've been alone and not necessarily having a sense of community as the support that you need to help you feel this healthy sense of self-confidence, okay? This has been lacking. With the homeless energy reverse, have no fear. Just because it was lacking in the past doesn't mean that that has to continue as a legacy. With homeless reverse, it means you are now building up your resources. You're coming out of the lack. You're coming out of this outsider mentality, this notion that you don't belong, okay? Or there isn't a group for you. There isn't a community for you. There's no room in the world for you. You're coming out of that, okay? You're now coming into understanding and seeing possibilities. You're starting to see where you can have a sense of belonging. You're starting to see where before you previously saw scarcity and lack, now you're starting to see some strengths. You're starting to see some opportunities. You're starting to see some silver lining, okay? So there's improvement here. With this care and okay in the reverse, while I asked for an outcome in these final cards, what I'm seeing here is these cards are showing both what you've experienced in the past as this lack, and that if you don't lean into this energy of shifting and building yourself up, like the way that these cards are showing that needs to happen, the energy is right for you right now to do this, all right? If you don't make this shift, then you're going to continue feeling this lack of support, and you're not going to be stable. There won't be harmony. You won't be okay. And it'll be harder for you to accept yourself and to accept these circumstances of lack And the reason for that is because it's an unnatural state for you to be in. You are here to shine, to have abundance, to have wealth, have stability. Okay? So this is really a warning message. Take care of yourself. Pour into yourself. Okay? I'm going to leave the message here. If you like the way that I read, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I truly appreciate your donations, and thank you so much for spending your time with me here today. I wish you all the best. I hope that this message was supportive. You can do this. You're the emperor and the empress. All right? This is time for you to shine. Bit by bit, make a plan. Bit by bit, build yourself up. Because you are truly the force, okay? The force is with you. Inborn, inbuilt, part of your path, okay? The real deal. All the best to you, and I'll see you in the next message.